everybody, it's Lynn Coffee and I'm here with today's Website Wednesday tip. I wanted to do a video today because I wanted to, just give you some visuals, and that's obviously easier done through video. But the topic for today is there are 6 things that your website must have or include above the fold. And so you can learn these 6 things and then take a look at your website and see how many of them you have, and obviously what you're missing you want to try to incorporate as quickly as possible. Now, it's important to know what the word above the fold means. So this doesn't count for, what your website looks like on mobile devices. It counts for what your website looks like on laptops, desktops, just sort of normal screen size. What above the fold means is what you see on the screen without having to scroll down. So when you first approach a website, what is it that you see? There are 6 things that you need to include. Okay, let's jump right in. Number 1 is you should definitely have your logo in the top left corner. It shouldn't be a massive logo. It should be small enough that it represents your business and your branding, sort of building some brand identity, but it shouldn't overtake the page. It shouldn't be this massive thing. So logo tucked up in the left corner is usually the best place for it to go. That's number 1. The second thing is a simple and streamlined navigation bar. If you've been following these Website Wednesday segments that I do each week, then you know that ideally the navigation bar would go something like this: home, free, happy clients, or testimonials or transformations, whatever you want to call them, services or what we do, blog, our story or my story or about us, and then a contact page. So something along that realm is what you're looking at. The more stuff you start adding to a navigation bar with tons of drop downs and sub drop downs, it just sort of gets unruly and people don't know where to go. They don't know what to click. There's not a clear path to kind of get from one place to another. So we really want a website to give people information, but it's a fine line between giving information and overwhelming them. So a clean and simple nav bar is the second thing that your website should have above the fold. The third thing is a really great headline. Now, this is just a demo site. However, if your brand was about losing weight safely and permanently, you worked with people who were, in their 40s or older, they haven't worked out in a while, they usually have some injuries, your clientele's referred to you from, physical therapists or doctors or whatever, this would be a really great headline for you, again, assuming that it reached your market. But basically what you want to do with the headline is have it stand out so people know they are in the right place. So it's really, really important, okay? So if your target market is, and forgive me for stereotyping a little bit, but I need to get a point across. If your target market is young adults, 20, 25 years old, they're really just about, sort of looking good and fad diets and sort of just all about the number on the scale, and they don't really have families yet. They have lots of time to work out. If they're in that demographic, they're usually not that worried about losing weight in a healthy way, in a sustainable way. They're not really worried about injuries. They're not worried about, kind of doing it so that it's most effective and that it's permanent for the long haul. They're just sort of, you get the point. So headline that talks to your target audience, it lets them know that they're in the right place for them. And so actually, I can talk about that forever. I'm going to stop right there though. So that's number 3. So far we have logo, a simple and clean navigation bar, and a headline that lets people know they're in the right place. Number 4 is going to be at least 1, possibly 2 call to action buttons. This is really important because when people get to your website, if it's the first time they've ever heard of you, they're not going to look at your website, do nothing else, and then opt in. There does have to be a relationship built. However, what if it's their 4th, 5th, 6th time visiting you? You always want to put what your offers are because they're going to be awesome, amazing offers, right? You always want to put that front and center so that people immediately see, hey, when you're ready, when I've built enough trust with you, when you think that I'm the right person for to help you reach your goals, here's the next step. Here's the next thing that I want you to do. So I like to do sometimes 2 things like this. Something very what's the word I'm looking for? Not really, it's going to come to me. But anyway, like something like download an information pack or download our pricing sheet or something like that. There's not a big risk involved. People will want the information, so they'll give you their name and email address. So there's not a huge barrier between them looking at your website, getting to know you, getting to trust you, and then opting in. And then sort of a different offer is when that person's really ready to take the next step. They're ready to contact you, call you, meet you. They're ready to come in for a free week or a free consult or a free training session or whatever it is that you offer in your business. These are considered warmer prospects or hot prospects. They're usually pretty close to saying, hey, here's my credit card, let's do this thing. So I like to offer at least one, but sometimes depending on your business model and how good you are at nurturing your leads, sometimes having 2 offers there can be great. So that's the 4th thing, is having some sort of really, really great call to action above the fold. The 5th thing is going to be some sort of a video or an image that is warm, welcoming, inviting, friendly. That's what you want to get in. Again, this will support your brand. So if your brand is that you're a warm, opening, welcoming, friendly, caring coach, that's what we want your picture or your video to, feel or give off that vibe. If you're more of a, drill sergeant, yell in your face, boot camp instructor, then we want your video to fit that vibe. So again, everything on the site, from your headline to your images, to your copy, to your logo, to your colors, should support the general vibe that you're trying to get out, because that vibe should attract the right people in your target market. So again, video or some sort of an image would work great. And then some sort of media markers, or if you don't have media markers yet, you can do sort of certified by. I kind of like media markers better, even if it's just local media markers. Like if you've just been featured in your local newspaper or maybe a local radio station, something like that, that can really go a long way. So that is 6 different things that you want on your website above the fold immediately without people having to scroll down or do anything else. It gives them a lot of information. Now, oftentimes what I'll see people do is try to cram all of this in, and their website just kind of looks like crap. It looks like really busy, and it looks like there's too much going on. So when you get everything in this above the fold space, you want to make sure that there's room to breathe, that there's room for people's eyes to relax, and that there's a natural, sort of a natural way to view things. So I obviously showed you one site, but just to kind of prove that I follow and do what I preach, here's my website. Obviously the exact same layout as the site you just saw, but you can see how I introduce myself. Again, my copy is really chill, really relaxed. I want people to reach out to me and know that I'm a real person. So I use, hey, I'm Lynn, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to get more leads from your website. That is the pain point of my target market. And I also call out who I work with. Like I'd say 85% to 90% of my clientele are fitness business owners. So I call that out right there in the headline. I have one button that they can click to opt in. I decided to use a video. It's me on the video. Again, I want people to get to know me and my hand gestures, my facial expressions, and I can get all of that across in a video. So I chose a video. Simple navigation that follows what I just mentioned in terms of the layout. And then as seen in, you can start to see places down here at the bottom where I've been featured. Here's another example. Again, everything is here. Now this picture is a little bit bigger, and because of that, it doesn't quite get this in on my small laptop screen. But as you can see, for the most part, at least this person on my screen is getting 5 out of 6, which is still better than most. And again, he's doing 2 buttons here. And lastly, just to give you another example, this is a different layout, but same concept, small logo on the top, super easy navigation bar, video that is silly, the colors match the target market. Here's what the headline, it's telling you right away what they're offering, a little bit of copy, and then here's the call to action button. Now again, this one is missing the as seen on, but it is down here. It's still on the website, but not quite in the above the fold. So again, this one's only 5 out of 6. But again, the goal is to get as many as you can up there. So take this information, take a look at your website, and implement as many of these things as you can. Because what you want to do when somebody gets to your website, the first thing that we need to do is get their attention for more than 1 second. Usually people make a quick judgment and they go, maybe it's too busy, maybe it's too cluttered, maybe it's whatever. But you need to get them to go, whoa, what's this? I'm somewhat interested. This looks different. Which again is why it's also really important to have your website look different than your other competitor's website. Even if the visuals look different, if it's the same exact kind of rote layout, which most people with websites these days, because everything's built on a template, kind of have similar looking sites, which is kind of interesting. So just having something that captures people's attention, we do that through a variety of ways, is going to be really important. And once you can get them on the site for 1 to 3 seconds, now they're looking around, and then they'll start to scroll down and they can see other things on your homepage. Maybe you have some testimonials like we have here, a Google map. I think, here's some testimonials again. Here's something, let's see, testimonials, an image, call to actions. I as well do testimonials. I do another video, but you can do all sorts of things. But anyway, what we're talking about is that above the fold spot. Obviously, if you have questions, definitely let me know. You can check out my website, obviously, at lynncoffey.com, but get as many of those things as you can on your site. Bye.